بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Kashf al-Murad. And as you remember, we started with the objections that Khaja Nasir rahmatullah alayh anticipated about his argument for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being mukhtar, being powerful and capable of doing things or not doing things. He's not mujab. So one objection could be the one that says maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has something between him and alam, between the universe. And that thing has made the universe hadith. If the universe was created by Allah and was hadith, could be a sign that he is free. But if he has created something and he's mujab in creation of that thing, and that thing has created something which is hadith, then Allah would not be creator of hadith thing directly. We answered that. Maybe even we can add to that even if such a thing was possible, that if Allah was mujab and that thing was not mujab, so it means that he is able to create something which has ikhtiyar, so he himself must be higher than that. He should not be lower than what he creates. Now we go to the second potential objection. Maybe some people have made this objection, maybe he is anticipating because he wants to make sure that there is no room for any rejection. وَيُمْكِنُ عُرُوضُ الْوُجُوبِ وَالْإِمْكَانِ لِلْأَثَرِ بِاعْتِبَارَيْنِ. Very brief again. He says it's possible that for the same thing, wujub and imkan, necessity and possibility or contingency, apply but from two different perspectives, two different considerations. So don't be surprised if something is both wajib and mumkin. So it can be wajib from one aspect, mumkin from another aspect. And inshallah we will explain. يمكن عروض الوجوب والإمكان للأثر باعتبارين. It is possible that necessity and possibility or contingency apply to the effect, something that wajib al-wujud has created, but from two different perspectives. أقول Allah Mahalli Rahmatullah Alayhi says, هذا جواب عن سؤال آخر. This is reply to another question, another objection may someone ask. وَتَغْرِيرُهُ. What is that su'al and what is jawab? Someone may say, is wajibul wujud in possession of everything which is needed for creation or not? If it is in the possession of everything, then it must create. It becomes wajib. If it's not in the possession of having everything, okay, it's not wajib, but then why it created? Then it becomes tarjih bila murajjih. If you say it's mumkin, so that you don't want to accept that he is mujab, becomes tarjih bila murajjih. If you say it is not mumkin, it is wajib, then it becomes mujab. Those who studied philosophy, they can put it in a more simple way. You remember, we said, "Ash-shay'u ma lam yajib, lam yujad." Nothing before becoming wajib can come to existence. But this was for mumkinat, wujub bil-ghayr. For Allah is wajibul wujud bil-dhat. We are wajibul wujud bil-ghayr. We said before something is necessary to come to existence, it would not come. How something becomes necessarily existent? When all parts and conditions of complete cause are there. When we have al-illatu tammah, yamtani'u takhallufu al-ma'lul an illatihi tammah. Yeah? You cannot have complete cause and have no ma'lul. Ma'lul, salam alaikum. Ma'lul is still being waiting. It's not possible. So, salam alaikum. So, if you have illat tammah, means that mumkinul wujud bizat, at the same time that it remains mumkinul wujud bizat, because imkan bizat never separate from mumkin. Yeah? Even if you exist 1 trillion years, still you are mumkinul wujud bizat. But wajibul wujud bil ghayr, you have become wajibul wujud bil ghayr. Means wujud has become necessary for you because of something else, not because of your essence, because you are not wajibul wujud bil ghayr, because of something else. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates something, even when he creates mumkinat, because he's not creating wajibul wujud bil ghayr, he's creating mumkinat, but still they are wajib. But wajib in what sense? Wajib bil ghayr means all the things are there for their existence. For mujarradat, we have many times said in philosophy, for mujarradat, we don't need anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for maddiyat, we need many, many conditions to come together. Alamul khalq wa alamul amr. Alamul amr is for mujarradat. Just he says, kun fayakun. But alamul khalq needs many things to come together. And when they are all together, he says, kun fayakun. Okay? So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and something which is his creation, one creation or the whole creation, universe. What is the relation between them? We say, if you consider just the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that thing can exist or cannot exist. But if you consider that Allah has desire or intention or will, it's better to use will, or as we have in the book da'i, motivation, if you consider it with that will for creation, that motivation for creation, then it becomes necessary. Or as we said last week, if you consider his mashiyah, so if you just consider his essence, that doesn't need to exist. This is why it is hades. But with his mashiyah or with his da'i, with his will, then it becomes necessary. So there is no problem. Please look at the text. وَتَقْرِيرُهُ أَنَّ الْمُؤَثِّرَةِ إِمَّا أَنْ يَسْتَجْمَعَ جَمِيعَ جَهَاتِ الْمُؤَثِّرِيَّةِ أَوْ لَا. Mu'athir means the one that brings the effect into existence. Yeah, the creator. Either has together all the aspects that are needed for being mu'athir, means anything that needs for creation, for example, or for initiation, for origination, everything he has. Awla, or not. فَإِنْ كَانَ الْأَوَّلِ Mustashkil says, if he has everything needed, كَانَ وُجُودُ الْأَثَرِ عَنْهُ واجبا, then existence of the effect from him, means to come into existence by him, is necessary. Because you have everything that you need. Illat tamme is there, complete cause is there. Wa illa, but if you don't have everything, if it's not mustajma for all dimensions and all the requirements, laftaqara tarjihuhu ila murajjihin za'id. Then, if there is a little chance, you remember we said, when we are talking about ash-shay'u ma lam yajib lam yujad, we said if there is a little room left, if it is not necessary, if it is just awlawiyya, you remember one of the discussions we had was to deny awlawiyya. We said awlawiyya is not enough. Because as long as there is a little room for not coming to existence, if existence has not become necessary, then the question remains, then what happened that it came to exist? Why it didn't continue to be not existent? وَإِلَّا لَافْتَقَرَ تَرْجِيحُهُ إِلَى مُرَجِّحٍ زَائِدٍ. If it is not complete, it means that there is a room. It's not necessary 100%. It's not zaruri. It's not necessary. So it needs something which gives preference, but it is za'id, means additional to mu'athir. Yeah? Za'id means additional to the mu'athir. Means we need something from outside to come and complete the job. فَلَا تَكُونُ الْجَهَاتُ بِأَسْرَهَا مَوْجُودَةً. So this means that all the things that were needed are not all of them one by one existing. هذا خلاف الفرض. This is against our fast. So either you have to deny this so that you avoid mujabiyah, yeah, or lazimat tarjihu min ghayr murajjah, or you have to say there is preference without something giving preference, because there is no murajjah, we don't have anything other than God. وَهُوَ بَاطِلٌ بِالضَّرُورَةِ. And this is also false, definitely, obviously. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ مُسْتَجْمِعًا لِجَمِيعِ الْجَهَاتِ اسْتَحَالَ صُدُورُ الْأَثَرِ عَنْهُ. If it doesn't have all the requirements, then it's impossible that the effect will be issued from it. وَحِينَئِذٍ لَا يُمْكِنُ تَحَقُّقُ الْقَادِرِ. In that case, then, we cannot have qadir. Why? Because we said many times, qadir for mutakallimin is someone that إِذَا شَاءَ فَعَلْ وَإِذَا لَمْ يَشَاء لَمْ يَفْعَلْ. Power always belongs to two sides. You cannot say, I have qudra ala al-fi'l only, or qudra ala al-tark only. It should be both. The only time we consider someone to be mukhtar and qadir is when he can decide to do or not to do. Both he can. حينئذ لا يمكن تحقق القادر. So we cannot have qadir. Why? لأنه على تقدير حصول جميع الجهات. Because if all the things are there, everything needed is there. يمتنع الترك. He cannot do the tark, means he cannot stop creating. وعلى تقدير انتفاء بعضها, and if some of them are missing, some of the requirements and prerequisites, يمتنع الفعل. It's impossible to do it. So either it's impossible not to do, or it's impossible to do. In both cases, then he's not qadir. فلا تتحقق المكنة من الطرفين. So ability from both sides, existence and non-existence, fail and tark, would not happen. This is so far إشكال, the objection, question. وتقرير الجواب. Now we want to explain the answer. أن الأثر, Khaja very briefly said, there are two considerations. From one perspective it is wajib, from another perspective can be mumkin. But Allah now has to explain it. أن الأثر تعرض له نسبة الوجوب والإمكان باعتبارين. This effect, this ma'lul, this creature, whatever is going to be created, can be wajib and mumkin from two different perspectives, no problem. تعرض له, it will happen for it. نسبة الوجوب means نسبة الوجوب ونسبة الإمكان. نسبتان مثنى for نسبة means it has relation with wujub, it has relation with imkan. But باعتبارين. You cannot have something wajib from one perspective and then mumkin from the same perspective. But if it was wajib from one perspective and mumkin from another perspective, this is not tanaquz. Because we said that tanaquz hasht wahdat shartan. In order to have contradiction, many things should be identical, so it is contradiction. Here it's not contradiction. Why? Because there is no wahdatul jaha. From different perspectives. For example, I say this person is a father, this person is not father. It's not a contradiction. If I mean father for someone and not to be father for someone else. For example, A for B is father, for C is not father. But if I say A for B is father and for B is not father, this is contradiction. Yeah? تعرض له نسبة الوجوب والإمكان باعتبارين, from two perspectives. فلا يتحقق الموجب. So we don't have mujab, because mujab means that the action for the essence of fa'il should be necessary. But here action is mumkin for the essence, and with consideration of da'i becomes necessary when everything is completed. فَلَا يَتَحَقَّقُ الْمُوجَبِ. So there is no mujab. وَلَا يَلْزَمُ التَّرْجِيحِ مِنْ غَيْرِ مُرَجَّحٍ. It's not غَيْرِ مُرَجَّحٍ. It's not also in need of saying that we have to prefer without having anything to prefer. Because we accept there is necessity. Bayanu, its explanation is this. أن فرض استجماع المؤثر جميع ما لا بد منه في المؤثرية هو بأن يكون المؤثر المختار مأخوذا مع قدرته التي يستوي طرف الوجود والعدم بالنسبة إليها ومع داعيه الذي يرجح أحد طرفين وحينئذ يجب الفعل. توضيح, bayan, explanation is this. The assumption that mu'athir has everything which needs for mu'athiriyah Istijma means to bring together, to have everything which is labudda minhu fil mu'athiriyya. So it's complete cause. Everything which is needed, it has. This farz is when you can say this mu'athir has everything, when you consider this mu'athir with da'i. بأن يكون المؤثر المختار مأخوذا مع قدرته. After a few words, ومع داعيه. If this mu'athir, which is mukhtar, which has will, which has power, if you take it مأخوذا, if you take it with قدرته, and you know قدرة يستوي طرف الوجود والعدم بالنسبة إليها. قدرة is something that belongs to wujud and adam, fail and tak. So relation with wujud and adam is the same for it. But plus ومع داعيه, in addition to itself and its قدرة, consider also da'i. Da'i means ما يدعوه إلى الفعل. What makes him decide to do it? That motivation, that will that he has to create. If you add that, it becomes mustajmi' لجميع الجهات, and with that it becomes wajib. ومع داعيه الذي يرجح أحد طرفين. Qudra belongs to both, but da'i for one part, either to do or not to do. حينئذ يجب الفعل. In that condition, then action becomes necessary. نظرا إلى وجود الداعي والقدرة. After this existence of qudra and da'i, what makes him decide, then it becomes necessary. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thinks about creation of the Adam. Okay, considers the creation of Adam. Not in the way that we consider things, but we use this language. Anyway, in his knowledge, we can analyze between two things. Allah and his power alone, or Allah and his power and the reason for creating Adam. If it is Allah and his power, he may create or may not create. But Allah and his power and the reason that he has for creation, that makes it necessary to create. So there is no contradiction. حينئذ يجب الفعل بعدهما. Action becomes necessary after what? After da'i and qudra together. نظرا إلى وجود الداعي والقدرة. Considering that there is da'i and qudra together. ولا تنافي بين هذا الوجوب وبين الإمكان. There is no contradiction, no conflict between these two. To have wujub and to have imkan, but from different perspectives, there is no problem. Why? Because هذا الوجوب is when you have qudra and ikhtiyar together. إمكان نظرا إلى مجرد القدرة والاختيار من دون الداعي means. Yeah? Wujub, when you have all of them with da'i. Imkan, when you have them without da'i, there is no conflict. لا تنافي بين هذا الوجوب. There is no conflict or contradiction between this necessity which comes when you have فاعل قادر plus da'i. وبين الإمكان نظرا إلى مجرد القدرة والاختيار. When you look at just the power and ikhtiyar, which is the same as power here, means he has will to do or not to do, without considering da'i. هذا كما إذا فرضنا وقوع الفعل من المختار. Now he wants to look at it from the other perspective. But before I mention this, I remind you of one of the senses in which we use wujub and darura. You remember darura bishart al-mahmul. Darura bishart al-mahmul. So we say al-insanu mawjudun. This wujud is imkan zati. Yes? But al-insanu al-mawjud mawjudun bi-darura. بشرط المحمول. This is not ضرورة الذاتي. This is not even ضرورة بالغير. This is ضرورة بشرط المحمول. Means as long as this mahmul is there, it's necessary. So if you look at موجودات, when they are there, they are necessarily there. What type of necessity is this? This is بشرط المحمول. It doesn't mean that they are necessary in their essence. Yes? And those things which don't exist, they are ممتنع الوجود. But in this perspective, not ممتنع الوجود بالذات. We are talking about them as being non-existent. Although they are ممتنع بالغير as well, but we are not talking about that. You can have different types of ضرورة. You remember بالذات, بالغير, بالقياس, بشرط محمول. There are different ways. هذا إذا كما فرضنا وقوع الفعل من المختار. If we suppose occurrence of the action from فاعل مختار, the one which has power, فإنه يصير واجبا من جهة فرض الوقوع. If you consider its occurrence when it is واقع, it's necessary. ولا ينافي الاختيار. This does not contradict اختيار. Because this is ضرورة بشرط محمول. It doesn't contradict with the fact that fa'il was mukhtar to create this. وبهذا التحقيق, Allama Hilli says, with this tahqiq doesn't mean research. Sometimes tahqiq means research, but this means going deep into the truth. Yeah? This deep probe into the truth. After this, يندفع جميع المحاذير اللازمة. يندفع is different from يدفع. يدفع means someone has to repel, someone has to remove. يندفع means it would not come, automatically would go away. Yes, يندفع means you don't need to do دفاع. It goes away by itself. جميع المحاذير اللازمة. All the problems, all the محاذير. محاذير is plural for محذور. محذور means something that we don't want to have. From حذر. It's different from محذور with vav, which means ممنوع. الضرورات تبيح المحظورات. In ilm al-usul we say. That is محظور with dha, like ظلم, محظور. That means mamnu. But hadar means to receive warning, to be careful. Okay? All the mahadir, all the things that we want to avoid, all the problems that we don't want to have, which would be implied for most of mutakallimin, we are safe from them. يندفع جميع المحاذير اللازمة لأكثر المتكلمين. What have mutakallimin said that they have these mahadir? What opinion, what view they have that has caused this problem for them and we are safe from them? في قولهم, these mutakallimin in their saying, القادر يرجح أحد مقدوريه على الآخر لا لمرجح. Most of mutakallimin, they have said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wajibul wujud, prefers one side over the other without having any murajjah, because they thought if we say he has murajjah, he becomes mujab. So they have accepted some kind of awlawiyya. But we have problem with this. We say, how can you say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prefers something over another without any reason? It becomes arbitrary. Hakim never does something without reason. Okay? So, that opinion of most of mutakallimin leads to lots of mahadir. Those mahadir would not come according to our view, because we don't believe that Allah is doing tarjih bila murajjah. We say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a reason. He considers a reason, a da'i for doing or not doing. When that da'i is good enough, then he does it and it's necessary. But this necessity comes from him and completion of everything. This necessity cannot go back and force Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand? You cannot say, oh, this action has made Allah, force. No, this necessity comes later, cannot go back. Like when you say Ash-shay'u ma lam yajib lam yujad, that wujub comes later. You cannot. One of the shubahat for Jabr is this. Is Jabr falsafi. They say everything must become necessary so that it's existent, and it means that then fa'il has no ikhtiyar. So we have explained that over there as well. Qala. The next objection. The next question, objection, whatever you call it. واجتماع القدرة على المستقبل مع العدم. اجتماع القدرة على المستقبل مع العدم. Khaja has a question in mind and is answering that question. He doesn't mention the question or objection, but he gives the answer which is enough to solve the problem. اجتماع القدرة على المستقبل. Power is for what? Power to do something or not to do something. Means to do something which does not exist now, and we want to do it, for example, another moment, the next time, tomorrow, for example. Today we don't have it. Tomorrow, the agent decides to do it. This qudra is when? Is now. But action is tomorrow. Some people say this is a problem. Now it's ma'doom, and there cannot be qudra, because ma'doom is mumtani' bil-dhat. If something is ma'doom, it's necessarily is ma'doom. Tomorrow, then it exists. So today, it necessarily doesn't exist, and tomorrow it exists. So where is qudra? Qudra must be fail and tat. Today is ma'doom, so you don't have qudra. Tomorrow it exists, so you don't have qudra. You say, we have qudra for creating it or not creating it. Today it has not created, tomorrow it will create. But qudra is for creation in any moment, any time he can decide to do or not to do. So there is no problem for qudra belonging to an action in future. Don't say, now, right now doesn't exist, so it couldn't exist. Okay, qudra is for mustaqbal. He wants to create or doesn't want to create. واجتماع القدرة على المستقبل مع العدم. power for future can come next to Adam, no problem. Today it doesn't exist. At the same time, we can have qudra for future, for tomorrow. They can be together. أقول Allama Hilli rahmatullah alayhi says, هذا جواب عن سؤال آخر. This is answer to another question. وتقريره. What is that question? الأثر إما حاصل في الحال فواجب فلا يكون مقدورا أو معدوم فممتنع فلا قدرة. The question is this. This athar, this thing that you want to do, you want to create, either is there now, so it must be there. You cannot say then something which is necessary, you say qudra belongs to it, because qudra has to belong to something which is not necessary. You have qudra ala al-fi'l wa tark, should be both possible. So now it exists. So how can you say I have qudra ala tark? It exists. It's zarurat b'shat mahmul. Necessarily exists. Tomorrow necessarily doesn't exist. أو معدوم إما حاصل في الحال فواجب فلا يكون مقدورا أو معدوم فممتنع فلا قدرة. Or it doesn't exist, so it is impossible, therefore there is no power. This is b'shart mahmul, of course, yes.
The example you gave about having qudra now, and then there is no contradiction with having qudra, but now it doesn't exist, but tomorrow it does exist. But isn't this when you consider the concept of timing to this? Like you say, we start right now, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
But when it comes to what it is to do, it's not that you have it before, you have a different timing.
He himself doesn't have timing, but the creation can have time. Because the creature is material, it can have time. So, this material thing at certain time is created. Before that time was not created. But in both situations, when he exists or when he didn't exist, he has power. Don't say because he doesn't exist, he has no power, because it's mumtana. And when he exists, it is wajib, again he has no power. No. We say this existence or non-existence come later. In your analysis, you have to understand. This wujub or adam are based on his essence, his power, and his will. With his will, it exists. Without his will, it doesn't exist. But when you compare it to his essence and power, both are equal. So, تغرير الجواب أن الأثر معدوم حال حصول القدرة. Please listen carefully. أثر معدوم, the effect doesn't exist when the power is there, because power is for fail and touch. لا نقول إن القدرة حال عدم الأثر تفعل الوجود في تلك الحال. We don't want to say that the power, when we don't have that athar, creates in the same time. When it doesn't exist, how can we create it in the same time? This is mumtana b'shart al-mahmul. We say forget that it doesn't exist now. We are talking about the essence of that thing, and we say it could exist and it could not exist. If you want to make it easier, okay, just say we are talking about next time, about tomorrow. But the reality is that even now it has power. But to make it simple, we say, okay, look at tomorrow. What about tomorrow? So qudra from now belongs to fail and tark in the second time. Current moment finished. Okay, what about the second time? But as I'm saying, even for the current time, you can say there is qudra. أن القدرة حال عدم الأثر تفعل الوجود في تلك الحال. We don't say this. We don't say that qudra, when the effect doesn't exist, creates the existence in the same time. No, بل في المستقبل. We say it for future, for another time. Because right now, we are dealing with a fixed situation. Either it exists or doesn't exist. فيمكن اجتماع القدرة على الوجود في المستقبل مع العدم في الحال. So it's possible that we have two things together. Power for creating tomorrow, mustaqbal, future, and Adam fil hal. We don't have it now, we can have it tomorrow. Because you say now is finished, it doesn't exist, you say okay, we can have it tomorrow. لا يقال الوجود في الاستقبال غير ممكن في الحال. Don't tell us something which is going to happen in future, it's not possible now. Because this istiqbal is taken as a condition, as part of it. Al-wujudu fil istiqbal, of course, cannot be today if you add that istiqbal as a condition to it. Yeah? The rain which comes tomorrow can come today if you add the rain that comes tomorrow. Rain can come today. But if you say the rain that comes tomorrow, that cannot come today. Yes? So we don't want to say that today we have the ability to have rain of tomorrow today. We say today we have the ability to have rain of tomorrow tomorrow. That's not a problem. يمكن اجتماع القدرة على الوجود في المستقبل مع العدم في الحال. Power for having something into the future is possible to exist together with what? With Adam fil hal, with non-existence in the present time. لا يقال الوجود في الاستقبال غير ممكن في الحال. It shouldn't be said that existence in future it's impossible now. Why? لأنه مشروط بالاستقبال. Because you say existence for future, existence in future, and this with the addition of in future is impossible now. وَإِذَا كَانَ كَذَلِكَ فَلَا قُدْرَةَ عَلَيْهِ فِي الْحَالِ. Don't say this, that the existence for future is not possible now, and therefore there is no power for it now, and in tomorrow, again, because it exists, again there is no power, because there is no power for Adam. لَأَنَّا نَقُولُ. Don't say that, because if you say that, we say this. الْقُدْرَةُ لا تتعلق بالوجود في الاستقبال في الحال. Please be careful about the way I read it. لا تتعلق بالوجود في الاستقبال في الحال. Power does not belong to wujud في الاستقبال, means tomorrow existence في الاستقبال. This this fil hal. The second is for تتعلق. لا تتعلق بالوجود في الاستقبال في الحال. Means لا تتعلق في الحال. Okay? The power now doesn't belong to the wujud في الاستقبال. بل في الاستقبال. Means tomorrow we have power for it. So from now we can say that we have power to do it tomorrow or not to do it tomorrow. But as I said, even now you can say this. If you are familiar with the concept of wujud b'shart mahmul, it's very easy. You can say, okay, it exists now or doesn't exist. It doesn't matter, because this is after things have come to the situation that they are. But if you just consider their essence and the essence of fa'il and its qudra, it's equal. It can be there, it can be not there. But it's easier if you want to consider it for tomorrow. Okay. So inshallah we continue this next week. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. If you have questions.
I think on this objection, if you